Hi, we're going to be doing tortilla yoga today. I happen to have a blanket that I came upon that is shaped like a tortilla. It's pretty cute, it's round, and we are going to use whatever blanket makes you feel a little bit of whimsy today for our yoga practice. My assistant Ben here, yes, he is a professional at this type of restorative practice, which has its roots in Savasana or resting pose. So what we're going to be really focusing on today is how to rest, different types of ways to rest and nourish our bodies that way. So let's start by sitting and taking a few moments just to come into the place where we have landed, right? Wherever we are in this present moment right now, whomever you have in the house with you, whatever noises happen to be happening, wherever you are doing this practice, just take a moment and notice all of those things. And take 5 deep breaths. And let's join the hands at the heart center and take a moment to set your intention for your practice, whatever that may be. Set it here in 2 breaths. Okay, release the hands. Take a moment looking around you and find a really cozy blanket. Again, this time I'm going to use this tortilla blanket, and our first pose is going to be heart opening taco. So for this pose, we need 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use books. We're going to take 1 block at the tallest height, if you can see that, and the second block at the next tallest height. So we're going to take a moment to move our props aside, and Ben is right where I need to be, if he stays here, to kind of provide some support for my knees and legs. Not really putting them on him, but we're there. Okay, we're going to be going on this lowest block with our shoulder blades. So the second block is going to come right underneath of the head. Make sure that your neck and shoulders release here. You should feel an opening immediately. You can put your hands over to the side, and that's the pose. To get out of it at any moment, you can take your dominant hand, your hand that you write with, and bring it up under your neck, your non-dominant hand supporting you to come up. You might feel your abdominals here. This is where it becomes the taco. So today, Ben is my bolster, and I'm going to tuck this maybe over him. Maybe he'll stay. And just taking a few minutes to tuck that blanket under and providing any support you need. You can also use a blanket, a bolster. You can also let your knees go out. If you're on your cycle, anything that you need a little bit of nurturing, go into there. Tuck those shoulder blades down, and coming here with the head. It takes a little bit of practice to find the sweet spot, but you can find it. You can adjust your legs, your hips, your shoulders until you find that place that is really supported. It feels like you have the earth underneath of you. Your hands are resting open, your palms are open. The maximum I would stay here, if you find it very comfortable, is 10 minutes. We're going to stay in it for 5 to 10. I'll walk you along. Just a little bit of just body awareness, somatic release here. Just taking a moment. Make sure you're to start from the outside in. Your toes and your fingers are spreading, and then just relax them. No effort in the hands. Your ankles and wrists are also, imagine them spreading. Let the flesh of the calves and forearms spread wide. And then maybe your thighs and your upper arms are not able to spread, but imagine them releasing. Notice the top of your head and your tailbone, and the relationship between those two parts of your body. Soften through your entire torso, arms, legs, neck. And we're going to stay here, softening the jaw, the eyes, and then focusing in on the breath. Draw the breath up through the nose and down towards the pelvis. So wherever that may be, it may be in the chest. It may go into deeper diaphragmatic breathing. Can you go even deeper towards the tailbone, towards where your body, your hips, your tailbone are meeting the floor? And breathing into that space, drawing the breath deeply into the torso and releasing from that deep place in the torso. 10 breaths. Really slow, focused breathing. With each breath, let the shoulders soften. And keep going back. If you find you've come out of it a little bit, it's okay. Come back into the fingers and toes and top of the head and tailbone. Just that cross. And thinking about the intersection of the heart here, that all intersects at the heart space. And breathe into that heart space. Allow breath, support, and love to flow into the heart space, connecting at that place, that intersection of the body. taking one more deep breath in. If you'd like to stay here for another 5 minutes, feel free to pause the video and stay for up to 5 more minutes. If you'd like to come out, join me in focusing on the fingertips and the toes, the top of the head and the tailbone, and bringing some awareness into those places, maybe wiggling the fingers, the toes, maybe stretching both arms up and over, behind you, into goalpost arms, whatever might feel like a nice release or a deeper stretch. The nice thing is, heart opening can be done as quickly or as slowly as you need. Let's let the legs come out. Let's thank our little support here. I had a nice support taking that dominant hand and then using the non-dominant hand to lift yourself up and coming back to sitting here. Take a moment in your seated position, just wherever you land. You can take your your blanket, and you can always place it anywhere near. This is when we have the free form blanket, and we just take a moment to check in with the heart, with the belly, and just take a few rounds of breath here, just allowing for a reset. And then slowly coming back to center. Let's take our blanket aside for a moment, and we're going to come into touching the earth. So this is a really nice grounding practice. It's child's pose for any of you who might, oh, I gotta move your little foot. So we're gonna take our knees pretty wide. We're gonna sit back on our heels as best as we can here. This is where the blanket comes in. We're gonna take our blanket and bring it back around us, and we're sort of gonna be like a enchilada or a flauta. So if you feel hungry after this practice, totally understandable. We're gonna wrap ourselves into our little enchilada, and we're going to keep those hips back behind us and walking the hands forward as much as possible. And then maybe the forehead comes to the floor, or if you're not there, you can always use your prop. And we're going to take 10 breaths here. Nice deep breathing. And then slowly coming all the way up. Back to sitting on the heels. If that's too much, you can always take your blanket and roll the blanket under. We're going to actually do that. Curling the toes under here. Take the blanket under. This is the real, like, Takis pose, right? So we're making a very, very deep roll here, right under the knees. and we're sitting on the heels as best as you can with the toes curled under. This is a nice yin pose. It stretches the backs of the feet, right at the fascial points. We're going to stay in here for 90 seconds. So that's the point when that fascia, the connective tissue around our muscles, can release. So we're just going to take a moment. You may have to come out of it a little bit. You may have to adjust, but see if you can just stay here for another few rounds of breath, lengthening through the spine and softly releasing the shoulders. Remember that taco pose we had at the beginning? Stay here for 30 more seconds. So just breathing in and out, noticing the sensations in the feet, the ankles, the calves, even the knees. Make sure you have something that's very soft and supporting you. I'm going to stay for 15 more seconds. Take 5 more breaths. Drawing the breath all the way deep down into the pelvis, releasing from that pose. Tops of the feet go down onto the floor, right? Tops of the feet, so you're stretching in the opposite direction, sitting on the heels, again, as best as you can. Use your blanket if you need to. And slowly allowing just a stretch in the opposite direction. This one, let's turn the head over to one side. Deep breath in. And then center, deep breath in. And then other side, deep breath in. And back to center. Nice. Let's all come to side lying pose. Ben's already in it. He's really good at this pose. It's a side lying pose. I'm going to call it the quesadilla pose. So we are going to take a pillow to start. I have this pillow. And we are going to bring that over to the side here. Okay. My friend is so relaxed right now, and I feel a little sad. He's looking at me. He knows we have to do our side lying pose. So I'm just going to scoot you over just a teeny tiny bit. There we go. So I can do this pose. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, it's okay. So we're going to side lie here. And we're taking our time to bring our pillow right here. Do you want the pillow on you? Maybe we have to move and shift this into side lying next to Ben. So lay on your left side, bring your blanket like a quesadilla. Split it in half so it's a semicircle. And open up through one side. We'll take our left side, so we're going to be left side lying, and we'll take our shoulder under the pillow so that the shoulder blade is going under. Your knees are going to be bent, and provide anything that you need in between. Another blanket in between the knees, or even another pillow, is a really nice way to get that ankle to be the height of the hip. Now we're going to take just a few moments to let ourselves go down. Take your burrito or your quesadilla and putting it over to the side. And if you'd like, you can always prop up your wrist. You can grab another pillow here and allow yourself to hold it, or you can just put your hand on your hip. We'll be here for about 10 breaths. And if you need any adjustments, feel free to go through whatever adjustment you need. Try to keep the neck, shoulders, everything relaxed. And breathing into the space of this relaxation. Lying on your left side helps with digestion. It helps us think about what we have on the left side that is on the earth, the hip, the shoulder, the cheek, the whole left leg. And then how the right side is able to be supported by the strength of the left side. If left is your non-dominant side, it's kind of a nice opportunity for this left side to do the heavy lifting. Finding some equilibrium here. Let's take 5 more breaths. If you'd like to stay here, feel free to pause the video. This pose you can stay in for up to 20, if you're a seasoned practitioner, 30 minutes. Sometimes I like to take a power nap in this pose. If you'd like to continue, take a deep breath in, hold at the top. Exhale all the air out. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Use your hands on the floor to gently roll yourself up and slowly coming back to center. That's a really nice one if you want to really rest. Sometimes I like to take a nap on my left side, and then I'll turn over and be on the right side, and I feel incredibly refreshed. Our next pose option that you'd like is the ultimate Savasana, but we are going to do it once again, maybe with Ben here. He's too relaxed. I can't have him as a prop. He's okay. We're going to do it on our own. So I'll do it from this position, and I'm going to keep the pillow right here. And this is where our burrito comes into place. So our burrito Savasana, we're going to wrap ourselves up into the blanket. So no matter what kind of blanket you might have, you can definitely put yourself into this burrito. I'll do it at a bit of an angle here so that we can still be together. Take your body as tightly as you can with this burrito into this nice shape. And then allow yourself to go as far out as you can. And then laying down onto the blanket, curling in, and taking the hands out to the sides. If your hands are cold, you can always tuck them in and put them as part of the burrito. Make sure that your neck and head are supported here, that you feel like you can fully relax into this pose. Take a body scan. This is part of the hardest part of the practice. Do a body scan and notice if there's anywhere on your body that you can adjust to make yourself relax more. It's really difficult to do because there is this feeling we have where we're like, oh, I'll just deal with it. No. The harder the practice is to really identify it and say, my right foot is at an angle. I'm going to adjust it. My heels, I'm going to make them as equal as possible and let them relax. I'm going to adjust my knees so I feel supported, but I can still let go. I'm going to adjust the hips a little left and right, the low back, the spine, the shoulders, the back of the head. And then I'm going to allow myself to be as balanced as possible while still being relaxed as possible. And life happens around you, and it's okay. And there are always going to be distractions. But the thing that you can control is yourself. And where you are in this place, in this space, in this body, in this moment. When you have done all of your adjusting, take a deep breath in, all the way down from the feet, up through the legs, into the lungs, and exhale out the mouth through a sigh. Fill yourself with the breath and let the breath go. Allowing yourself here, this space, this moment. You can move if you need to move. You can adjust if you need to adjust. But also find a little stillness, a little grounding, a landmark, a touch point. Allow the jaw to soften. And let's take 10 deep breaths together. take a deep breath in and let it go however you need to. Take another deep breath in and softly releasing the breath. Anything that doesn't serve, take another nice deep breath in. Softly relax the breath, relax throughout the whole body, and let go any last bit of effort, worry, anything that does not serve. And softly wiggling fingers and toes, bringing some awareness to the crown of the head and the tailbone. And when you're ready, this time we're rolling over towards our right side. I like to start with the knee, bending the knee, sending the shoulder over, and just releasing here over to the right side. You can also feel free to close the book, close the chapter of this practice using your hands to slowly push yourself up. Try to let your head be the last thing to come up. And holding that lovely relaxed state for just another moment, checking in with the heart, checking in with the belly. If you'd like to continue and stay in a meditation for the next few minutes, please feel free to either pause or let this go. I welcome you to staying relaxed, having this as part of your practice all day long, and trying to keep breathing, trying to keep our calmest, most truest state always active. Thank you for joining me. I wish you all the best. Be safe and well.